Well, you can actually raise your hand in the little chat group. You can select the little raise your hand icon, as you can see on my screen here. How many of you guys right now are sending out a pre-listing package before every listing appointment that you attend? Can I get a show of thumbs or hands? How many of you guys have never sent out a PLP before? Anybody? You can go ahead and unmute and just say me. How many of you guys have never sent out a PLP before?
I haven't.
Me.
Okay. All right. So for those of you guys who haven't, we're going to make that a foundation of your business. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Number one, why the PLP is so important. For some of you guys, you might already know the answer to that question. What should your PLP look like? What should it include? And how to do it efficiently. Okay, those are kind of the topics that we're going to go over today. So I just want to point out why it's so important really quickly that we send out a PLP. Now, obviously, this is a competitive business, right? And every small thing that you do is going to determine whether a client chooses you as their agent. It's your first impression, right? So when you set an appointment, the first person that they meet is you through your PLP. Okay, and it should include a lot of things that we're going to discuss today. But if you're not currently sending out a PLP, it's got to be done because it's a game changer. Jason Windom, why do you send out a PLP before every appointment?
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, that they get to know more about you. It separates you apart from the others, right? If somebody doesn't send a PLP, then they just have something in their mind that you're better. You're more professional, your marketing material. If they haven't seen anybody else's, then it definitely separates you from the competition.
Right. And it's not difficult to get your real estate license, guys. And believe it or not, most real estate agents don't take a professional approach. So everything that you can do to differentiate yourself, you must do. Okay. Now, the PLP should do a lot of selling before you even arrive, right? It should set the tone for who you are as an agent. I had this agent that I used to work with. His name was Justin. And he went out on an appointment and it was a referral from his friend. Right. And he lost the listing because the other agent who they didn't know brought like a black and white comps list that was just stapled together. But believe it or not, in the eyes of the sellers, they're like, wow, you actually brought something. And Justin was thinking that he was just going to go out there and nail down the listing because it was a friend of his, right? The professional things that you do matter. So it's gonna give the sellers a representation of who you are before you get out there. It's gonna set you apart from all of the other agents because they're not going to send a PLP. Most of them don't. You might have gone to an open house or a listing appointment where they've had a couple of PLPs, but that's a couple of agents out of the 10s to 20s to 30s of agents who have actually contacted that client or met with that client. So out of the bunch, guys, you're going to separate yourself by that PLP. Also, it creates a lot of questions before you arrive, right? It's going to give the client something to look at, something to read through, get the gears turning so that they know what questions to ask. And it's also going to give them something to ask their the other agents that you're competing against, right? The great news is, guys, with EXP, with the resources that you guys have, there's not a lot of people that can compete if you sell it the right way. Would you guys agree with me on that?
Yep. Hey, can I say something about the pre-listing packet? Robin and I went on an appointment this week, and we had met with these people. It was over 2 years ago, and they still had the pre-listing pack that we had sent them when we were with another company that shall remain nameless. They still had that pre-listing pack.
Isn't that amazing? You'd be surprised because that pre-listing package makes, and because it's custom to the person that you're sending it to, it makes an impression, right? And your PLP should be a keeper. There are agents who send out, stapled together pieces of paper. That's a throwaway. Your pre-listing package should be a keeper. And so I want to get into what it should look like. Now, I chose Jason Windom here because we were talking about his PLP this morning. Some possible changes that we could make, but Jason does take a professional approach, and I want Jason you to go ahead and share that with the people on these calls. So just as an example, right out of the gate, before you get into the content, can you show me what your PLP actually looks like?
Yeah, I'm on my camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cool.
it's bound in this hardcover book, right? It has a little window that shows EXP, and then it's like a little book here, right? Here's my Zillow reviews. Actually, hang on. So the first page is a letter with their name on it, telling them, thanks, looking forward to present you my marketing plan. And then I have my contact info, some reviews.
And so, Jason, well, let's get into the content in a second, because I'm going to have you share your screen and show that content. But
Okay.
if you can pull that back up again, right? You have some agents who send something flimsy, some papers stapled together, and then you've got an agent like Jason Windom who's sending them a book about their house, right? So the question becomes is, which one are they going to keep? Are they going to keep the flimsy one that looks like, their 3-year-old could have made that at arts and crafts school? Or are they going to read and appreciate something that's professionally done? Now, for all of you guys who are like, well, how do I get that done? We're going to go over exactly where you can get something like that done, and how much the cost for that is. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so the presentation of your PLP is very important. How it looks, how it feels to the seller, all of that stuff is important, because Jason Windom's book kind of exudes quality, doesn't it, right? I'm a quality agent before I step in the door because I got a book from Jason Windom about my property, and everything else I got was like a flimsy piece of paper or something stapled, or what is that stuff that they used to use, 3-hole punch, and then they use those little metal buttons, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, a notebook binder, yeah.
No, that's a 3-ring binder. Our teachers used to use these things in grade school. So what should it look like? Jason, if you could do me a favor, let's get into the content of what should be in your PLP. And there's some things in Jason Windom's PLP that we're going to go over that should be in there that we are brainstorming about this morning. So if you already have a pre-listing package, great. Let's go over some ideas on how we can make it better. If you don't have a pre-listing package right now, the good news is we have one available for you. We have some content available for you, but your pre-listing package should be customized to you. Jason, can you go ahead and pull up the template that we've got for everybody on this call, please?
Sure.
Okay, so raise your hand if you guys have this in your inbox and are currently using it. Don't raise your hand, unmute your microphone and let me hear your voice.
I have one, yes.
Yes,
I
indeed.
have one. Mhm.
Yep.
Yep,
I got
use
one.
it all the time.
Yep, I have one.
Okay, now how many of you guys, and this is a great template, right? But I want everybody to understand that this is what that is. It's a template. So there are some additions that you need to make to this pre-listing package to make it personal, because it's got to be about you. How many of you guys have taken this template here and actually added some pages to it to make it about you?
I have.
Okay, anybody else?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yes,
I do.
Okay, Shelly, can you give me an example about how you make yours personal?
Kind of the same thing that Jason does. I put a introduction letter in there, some reviews, just to positive reviews. I have a couple of words. I throw those in there just for, added, validity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have that sheet that Michelle did on YEXP, because it's stronger than the one that's actually in there. It's
Okay.
that separate one that she did. I love that sheet.
Okay, perfect. Jason, can you pull up your pre-listing package really quickly? And it really looks nothing like the template that we use. Jason has kind of decided to do his own, which I'm here to tell you guys is okay. But Jason, so you've got the title page, right? Obviously EXP Realty, and walk me through what you've got right here. Could you scroll up a little bit, please, to the letter?
Okay, yeah, the letter just says, I appreciate, and this is auto-generated for me once I put their info here. I appreciate the opportunity to share my business plan with you. There's a couple of things that I customize because it is, some of the things that I say is there are many properties on the market today and each has different amenities. you know what, I don't think the changes got made or got saved, but
So the
anyways.
most important thing is there's something that's specific, a letter to the seller right out of the gate, right? That's the first thing that they see. Is it custom? No, maybe a little bit, right? But the fact of the matter is these little things do matter in the eyes of the seller, because it's about each degree of separation that's going to separate you from your competition. Now, Jason, the next step is you've got what?
My contact info.
Contact information, photo.
Then I got my reviews.
All right, so this is important, right? How many of you guys have reviews from Zillow?
I do.
Yep.
Okay. And how many of you guys share them in your pre-listing package?
I do.
I do.
Okay,
Well, now,
awesome. Do you guys have reviews on any other platforms?
Yes.
Jason, go back up. I'm still talking about Zillow. There we go.
Google reviews.
Google reviews, whatever reviews that you have about yourself, make sure that you're adding those into your pre-listing package every single time. Some things that I was talking to Jason about today that are really important that I think that everybody should add into their pre-listing package are testimonials. Okay. So what testimonials though? Like how many of you guys have testimonials from your clients on whatever platform is available? Not just Zillow ratings, but actual testimonials, either from websites, handwritten testimonials, whatever they are. How many of you guys have those? Okay.
I have them,
Got a
but
couple.
in my packet, I just include a list of references with phone numbers, contact numbers, so people can contact some of my more recent clients.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a great idea. To get more specific though, you know, we have to ask ourselves, what edge do we want to give ourselves, right? And typically when you're sending out a PLP to like expires or FSBOs, what testimonials do you think would be a good idea to include in your pre-listing package, tailored to the person that you're sending the pre-listing package out there to?
Oh, like a
Anybody?
for sale by owner one. Yeah, that's a great
Well,
idea.
let me ask you this, Shelley. In your real estate career, how
Mhm.
many expired listings have you sold?
Quite a few.
Quite a few, a ton,
Mhm.
right? And how powerful would it be if you only put the testimonials in your PLP that mattered to the client, right? Like some
Mhm.
testimonials that stated, and even if you have to go out and solicit these testimonials, get them and use them. You know what? I had my house on the market for 12 months. My home expired. I was devastated. I didn't think that my home could actually get sold. Shelley Camacho stepped in, sold my house in 3 months for over asking price. And I'm so thankful that I chose Shelley to list my home. Now, if an expired listing read review after review after review after review of you, helping somebody in their exact same mindset, in their exact same scenario, accomplish what they're looking to accomplish, what do you think that would do in terms of the way that you compete, right? In terms of your separating you from your competition? That
Well,
would
it
be
backs
huge.
up what you say when you say that, you know, I specialize in getting homes like you're sold. It fits with the
Right.
script. Mhm.
Right.
Can I add to that really quick?
Sure.
Hey, it's Malaya. Sorry.
Hey.
So Liddell actually went to a listing appointment, and the lady that we were going to see was a referral from the company. She actually hired someone. The notebook that this person had, it wasn't even a notebook. It was a manila folder with 2 pieces of paper, and all he had in there was top agents. His picture was on there. It was the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. But she hired him only because she saw a picture of him that said in one of the quarters he was like a top producing agent. I don't know where he got that from, but
It's a top agent magazine thing that most agents fall victim to. It's an advertising scheme where they're like, we'll put you on the cover of Top Agent magazine, which might mean something to your sellers. It might be a difference maker, but it's mostly a marketing thing that agents print out and present to their clients and
So-
share.
yeah, when she saw our pre-listing package, she was like, oh, this is so nice. And she kind of compared the two and kind of realized that, you know, that our pre-listing package was way more professional, and that she kind of was like, you know, I was sold on that statement right there. And so I think if any of you guys were top producing agents at any time, just, post a picture in there, and I think some of the sellers will find that convincing.
Well, it's about selling past that too, right? And pointing
Correct.
out something that they don't. Okay. Then I guarantee you, if that agent brought by a manila envelope, that they're not indeed a top agent. All you would have to do is look them up on the MLS and say, wow, this top agent sold 2 homes last year. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I'm saying here, guys, I don't want to get too far off track. If you're competing for expired listings, your pre-listing package should be tailored to that. Okay. Then you should have some template available that you can print off and send to these expired listings that are going to prove to them and show them that, yes, you've got experience doing this. And if it's not you guys, right? Some of you guys might be thinking, well, I haven't sold any expired listings yet, or I'm a newer agent. Anything that's not true about you personally, you can take from your company, right? And that's where you lean on your company, right? Well, EXP has sold X amount of expired listings over the course of the past 12 months, right? Do the research, get the information, and include it specifically who you're competing for. Now, if you're sending a pre-listing package to a for sale by owner, what are some good testimonials to put in there? Shelly, again, with you, how many for sale by owners have you sold in your career?
Not a ton, but I've sold some, enough to fill a page up.
Right, absolutely. And how many situations have you been in for you agents who have been doing this for a little while? How many for sale by owners have you sold where you actually ended up netting the client more money than they would have netted on their own or their original asking price? Okay. And if you have, then the question is do you have those testimonials? Okay. And if you don't have those testimonials talking about something specific like that, then solicit those testimonials, reach out to that client, solicit that testimonial so that you can use that in your marketing because you did that hard work already. You might as well capitalize on that hard work. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So if those are not included in your PLP, or you need some information about EXP, or you don't have those kind of testimonials, call me, contact me, and I will get you some of those testimonials. Even if they're not your own, we'll go over exactly what your company has done and what people on your team have done. Okay. Fair enough?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I love it. Jason, take me to the next. Oh, did you stop sharing your screen?
No, I just shared it again.
Okay, so your reviews, your testimonials.
And then, I have my own custom marketing material.
Okay.
What makes your home sell? What sets us apart? And I got that property boost, weekly seller updates, how I make your listing shine, how I can sell it for more money, how we market the listing to top agents, how it gets syndicated.
So scroll back really quick, Jason. Okay, so look at, he's advertising other companies in his pre-listing package. Okay, and why is that, Jason? Why would you put Remax, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Sotheby's, Century 21, Better Homes, Redfin, and all those people in your pre-listing package?
Because a lot of times sellers don't know that their property is going to show up on all these other websites. They think that they're only going to show up on EXP's website or something like that.
Right. So, and that's important. And that's a huge selling point too in the living room when you're competing against a Keller Williams, when you're competing against a Coldwell Banker, when you're competing against a Remax or a Century 21 or a Windom. How many of you guys know that your listing, that your listings are syndicated on those websites as well? So when you talk about, hey, we're going to not only use our resources, but we're going to leverage their resources too to help get your property out in front of as many people as possible. So that's, I think, a brilliant thing that Jason can go over in the living room when he's actually competing with other agents. So I actually like that a lot.
Okay. I'm just letting them know that, hey, you're going to be on the top 3 websites. you know, search engine optimization. We're going to make sure that people see you when they're searching for a property. Obviously, we're going to put it on social media, but the importance of retargeting and how that is going to follow anybody around that's taking a look at their property.
And something Jason and I talked about when we were reviewing his pre-listing package, because we are building it even more, is Jason's kind of laying out the premise for what he's going to talk about in his listing presentation. And we're talking about taking what he's got right now in this page that you're looking at and making that a little bit more important. Like what he's got right there is basically tells you what most agents do, right? They put it on Facebook, they put it on Instagram, and yes, they're going to use social media. But again, in your pre-listing package, the most important thing that you've got to focus on is the difference, because this might be your pre-listing package could mean a canceled appointment, right? If your pre-listing package looks like everybody else's, right? Or it just says social media, you're like, great, well, everybody does that. And on the agents who have sent me their pre-listing packages all have that times 10. So how can you separate yourself when you've got things like core property boost that should be in there and kind of emphasize, because it's not the social media that you're putting it on, it's the marketing power behind that drives the traffic to those social media sites, which should be the emphasis. And that's something that Jason and I talked about this morning, and we will be giving this page a little bit of spit shine.
Can I ask, Jason, how did you put this together? I mean, did you work with a marketing person or a marketing company or templates?
Well, you know, most of it I ripped off and duplicated, but you know, like it was a PowerPoint that I edited. So I just inserted some photos. You know, this was like my sign here was Sign Pro's like proof that I just cropped and threw in there. Same with the open house was the open house proof from Sign Pros. Same with this here, the, you know, the door hangers and the postcards I stole from Enterprise Marketing off of EXP's Enterprise site. So I just kind of, you know, put it all together. But I ripped off and duplicated most of it.
Yeah.
So he took the content from different places, but he put it together himself. Like this is just something that he built for himself. Okay. And I'm using this as an example, guys, because again, we've got the template available to you. And if you don't know where to find it, because our template looks completely different than what you're seeing in Jason Windom's. Right. I wanted to provide to you guys an example of some things that you could do outside of the box, or some possible ways that you could add to the existing or create your own. Okay. With your own branding, your own marketing, all of that good stuff. So thank you, Jason. You want to go to the next?
Talks about international marketing and how many people are buying from out of the country and how we're an international company. Some places that people are buying in the US from Asia, Latin America, Europe, and how many offices that we have in EXP internationally.
Yeah.
More aggressive agent. I put this in here for Cooley's ego.
Yeah,
I like it.
Put a little bit about
what you have, right, Jason? It's what you do with what you have. Guys, does anything on this page look familiar?
Sales funnel.
Pitch sheet.
It's the pitch sheet.
Yeah.
Right. It's an example of the pitch sheet. And for those of you guys who don't know what the pitch sheet is, there's a video on our Facebook that talks specifically about that. And I want to make sure that everybody, every single agent on this call, when you're competing for a listing, you include that pitch sheet. Okay. It's something that the sellers need to see. And it's something that you need to talk about in the living room. Okay. When you have that person who's just interested in buyers and you can show them that you've got a whole database full of buyers, man, that is a huge separation point. We actually have 361 buyers who are actively looking in this marketplace. And all I really have to do is push this button to start generating attention from those people on your listing. Okay. So if you don't have a pitch sheet in your PLP, make sure that pitch sheet is getting put in your PLP.
Okay, next one is just about communication. I put a little something about KV Core.
Okay. And what that means is you've got different personality types and people who are looking for different things. And that's why your PLP has all of this information, right? Some people didn't have any communication with their previous agent. You've asked that question on your prospecting calls. Did your agent give you any feedback? And a lot of times they say, no, they didn't. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so angry right now. So they're more focused on the communication. They want agents who are going to communicate with them and be transparent. That's covered, right? Then if you noticed in his previous slide, Jason talked about being an aggressive agent. That fulfills the need of a client who's like, my last agent didn't do anything to deserve their commission. They didn't do anything, and that's why my house didn't get sold. So that's specifically targeting that personality type. Jason, would you agree with me there?
Yeah.
Covering your bases. Okay.
Showing feedback, keeping them up to date with the market updates. And this is super simple to do in KV Core. You just plug in their zip code. My guarantee that if you're not happy with it, I'll cancel the listing, and what the next steps are.
For those of you guys who aren't that confident, you could put in your guarantee. If you're not satisfied, contact Cooley so that he can resell you into our relationship. Okay.
All right.
All right. And then we get into the comps, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
Here's market analysis, where all the comps are. And this is a cloud CMA, but you could do the same thing in your MLS.
When you say it's
Okay.
a cloud CMA, what do you mean, Jason?
Well, that's
Sorry.
what we're going to get into next, real quick.
So charter.
Jason, let's talk about the process, right?
Okay.
So number one, guys, the question is, when should I work on my PLP? Okay. Now, all of you guys, most of you guys are prospecting agents. And after you get that appointment, you get really giddy, right? That's your appointment. And most of you guys are like, well, let's get to work on this. And you start looking up comps because you've got this little sale and you're combing its hair and you're all focused on it. And I'm here to tell you guys, do not let that one listing appointment ruin your whole day. And how can a listing appointment ruin your whole day? Very simple. You get that listing appointment and you start focusing on it, okay? The PLP work should not be done until after your prospecting time, okay? So when you get that appointment, put that appointment aside and have a designated time where you work on putting these PLPs together. Meaning the best time to get an appointment is right after you've set an appointment. So don't let that PLP work derail your prospecting time. Perfect example, Jason, when is your prospecting time?
8 to 11.
When's your
Or-
PLP time?
After 11.
After 11. So let's just create the scenario and walk guys through exactly what your process is. So Jason, you got a listing appointment. Congratulations. You've only gotten one. It's past your prospecting time. It's 11 a.m. What are you doing now?
Okay, so I'm gonna get the comparables, right? And I'm gonna do this pretty quickly. And I'm gonna use my parents' house as an example. They live in Mukilteo. So I pull up the address and I look for any actives, pending, sold, pending inspections, contingent. So I got 10 matches. And just for example, I'm going to select the ones, I'm just gonna select a few here that are not condos. I'll keep that one just in case, just for examples. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of these $1 million ones. Okay, so I want at least 5. I want at least 5 here. Actually, I'm gonna go out a little bit further. Just make the criteria around the square foot that they are.
Okay, so he's going to search for his comps. It doesn't need to get exact, Jason.
Yeah, no. Just want at least 5. And then I'm gonna click on this because Cloud CMA is integrated into our MLS. Then I'm gonna click on Cloud CMA. And then I'll put my dad's name here, address. And then it auto-populates most of the stuff, but it's not always accurate. Add a photo. It automatically inputs the comps, hit fetch listings. Okay, and customize report. And I've already uploaded my my custom stuff here, like my listing presentation. So all I have to do is hit publish report. I can view the live presentation, which this is nice to do in the living room. You know, if I wanted to go over all this stuff live with them, this is always nice to do. But here's the PLP. That you just saw. And then down at the bottom, here are the comps.
You're way more tech savvy than I am, Jason. I didn't know you could do all that with Cloud CMA.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, cool.
And Jason is going to make a separate video on how to get your custom stuff uploaded into Cloud CMA
Yeah.
so that you can make that simple for you.
Yeah.
Right, Jason?
Yep. So you can, I mean, realistically, you
Yeah.
could, as long as it takes to do the comps, making this, the PLP, if you have all that stuff uploaded, you saw it took about a minute.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
doing the prep. It's just doing the prep work and the setup, so you're prepared.
Right. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Might take you, you know, a couple of days or whatever work you're putting into it that you're having put together. Then it's all live.
But
Thank
then how do you turn it into a book?
Oh,
That's exactly, so that's the
Right.
next
Real
step.
question.
That 3-ring
That's the
binder.
next step,
I've
right?
got my hole punch here for my 3-ring binder.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot how to
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
how
hey-
do we make it into a book? So number one, first and foremost, Jason hits the print button. Okay. He obviously prints everything back. Jason, can you pull up the online shop on where you get these actual books from?
Yep. So the books that I got, and I get them from this company called Pelleman, and it's these thermal covered ones. And you can get, you know, I do have these plastic ones if it's, you know, a pre-listing packet that isn't that pricey, isn't as pricey or whatever, but because these unicover ones cost about a little over $7 a piece because there's 10 in a box. If you customize them, they can get even pricier. So if you place an order big enough, you can get the heat sealer for free. So you'd want to give these guys a call. If you do want to use these guys, go ahead and reach out to me. I can get you in contact with their rep, because you have to go through a rep to buy these.
Jason,
What's
I'm
a heat sealer?
clarifying something, Jason. So you basically are buying the cover. You have a heat sealer at home, and that book you're literally making on the fly right there from where you're sitting.
Yeah. So like if I could walk you guys here, I'll show you. Let's walk around my office here. Can you guys see me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know how far this will stretch, but literally my printer. And then here's my book right here. So I just print it. This is the heat sealing machine. So I just take the book, print it up, walk it over, and then drop it down. And then after After that, then I go on to the post office's website and I shove the PLP into this flat rate envelope, seal it, and then I slap the label on it, and then I go walk to, about a couple 100 feet. I live in a townhome complex, and there's a, drop-off box. And if I get it in there by noon or 1, then they should get it the next day. So it's a pretty simple process. I've
Did
dialed
they
it
print
down.
your logo on there for you, or is that a separate thing?
You can get your logo printed. Like I used to have these when I was with Keller Williams, and so you could get them made.
But how
Doesn't
did
your
you do
book have the
yours,
logo on
Jason?
the front though?
Yours, for example, has a cutout, right?
Yeah. So mine, if you want to switch this up, this has a cutout here.
Which I like better because it doesn't just have to be EXP or logo. It could be a picture of the client's house, whatever you want it to be. It could be you, it could be your beautiful face. But you can kind of get creative with how you want your pre-listing package to look.
I love this so much, guys, because I think that what everyone on this call is seeing is you got half this group that is doing PLPs that's going, okay, I need to upgrade my game, up my game.
Definitely.
Half that are probably like, I've never done this before. You guys can see how this completely separates you from the competition. And it doesn't have to be long. Jason, now that you have all your things in place, right? All that stuff is pre-prepared. Your envelopes from the post office, your heat machine, the covers, all of that is sitting there. So all he's doing is running the comps like you guys saw and hitting print. How long does it take you today, because you did the prep work, to create a PLP and have it out the door? How long does that take you?
Well, it just takes me as long to, like, as soon as I get the comps, I could about 10 minutes to drop it off in the post office if I wanted to, right? Because I just hit print, I'd slap it into this, stick it in the heat sealer, takes 3 minutes. And then once it's done, I mean, I could be working while it's heating, I could go be printing the label, right? And that takes, I don't know, 3 minutes on the website, USPS website, slap in a label, print it. I mean, I could have it done. It's the process of putting it together takes maybe 10 minutes. So however long it takes me to get the comps, a half hour, it might take me 40 minutes to do the whole thing. If that, like half hour to half hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So the most important part is the preparation part as well. Like he's got everything that he needs right there at the touch of his fingertips. And if you want to create chaos in your business, don't prepare for anything. And it's the #1 reason why most agents aren't able to fulfill their prospecting time, or in that constant state of, I don't have enough time, I'm so busy, I've got to do this and then I've got to do that. And it's just chaos all the time. And the best thing that you can do is have everything prepared so that all you have to do is hit a couple of buttons here, put things together here, and then have it out the door. But it's those type of systems, guys, that will allow you to call a little bit more order forth from chaos.
I'm actually really lazy. So I would rather spend about, Chad's like, yep. I'd rather spend 4 hours making a process super simple like you've seen than to, try to do the same dumb thing over and over that takes hours.
Like 2.5 hours to do that if you're doing it at a one-off.
Do you get
What's that?
the same response sending it in the mail than like hand delivering it?
Great question. So the question is how many listings do you have right now? How many do you want? Now, I'm a personal fan of hand delivering the PLP. Go that same day, knock on the door and say, hey, we have an appointment tomorrow. I just want you to take a look at this, write down any questions that you have. And I look forward to meeting you tomorrow at 6. That's it. Make that initial first contact. If you really want a listing, guys, and you need some more listings, take that more aggressive step. Okay. If you're a busy agent who's like, oh my God, the thought of like having to drive to all of my listing appointments first and hand deliver the pre-listing package, that's fine too. Overnight it. But it depends on how bad you want that next listing and what you're willing to do that most agents aren't willing to do. For instance, Shelly Camacho, busy gal, probably not going to hand deliver that PLP. If Ashley, if you're going to compete with Shelly, you know that she's not going to go hand deliver that PLP. Cut her ankles out from underneath her and go hand deliver that PLP. Take the extra step and out compete. That's what I would say.
You're saying I need to start stalking Shelly and then
Yeah,
hand
absolutely.
her house.
No.
Selling houses to my best friend, so it's fine. I've already let it go.
Yeah, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? You know, always overnight the PLP. Give your clients the opportunity to receive the PLP before you just show up. But again, the question, how bad do you want that listing? You know that the other agent, even if they do have a PLP that they're going to send, and most agents don't, but even if they do, you're going to win because you're going to take that extra step and go meet your clients, hand deliver it. Worst case scenario, they're not home. You leave it on their doorstep and you knock some doors in the neighborhood and make it an income producing activity. But that's what's going to separate you again from everybody else. So does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns?
It's a great looking PLP, Jason.
Thank you, Wendy.
Hey,
Definitely.
Jason, do you include the pitch sheet in there normally? I know you showed the screenshot or the printout of what a pitch sheet looks like, but do you include it in there or you just bring it with
Yeah,
you
man.
or?
Yeah, I actually include, I actually go into Trend Graphics and print out the trends also. And the pitch sheet if it's available for sure.
And those are included with the PLP usually, or you bring them just to the appointment?
No, I would put them in the PLP.
Okay, after the CMA?
You do, Kevin,
Yeah.
you do both. You print one out for yourself, and you always want to bring a PLP in case for some reason they didn't receive it or they didn't get it or they don't have it available, right? Make sure
Yeah.
that you've got one available. And it doesn't have to be as nice as long as you have the contents of what you're sending over. But you should not just include the pitch sheet in the CMA or in the pre-listing package, but you should also print one out and bring it with you just in case.
So that custom video Jason's going to be making, when can we expect that?
That's a great question. Let's ask him and put him on the.
So you want a video on how to do Cloud CMA or Matrix or what?
How to upload your stuff to Cloud CMA so all of that stuff is ready and just able to print off.
Yeah, the uploading to Cloud CMA is the part I'm really interested in.
Me too.
Okay, yeah. I'll show you real quick.
Yeah.
So in the
Share your screen, Jason.
what's that?
You sharing your screen and doing this now?
Yep, sure. Okay, so when over here, there's this spot on Cloud CMA called Custom Pages. Okay, and then you can upload whatever you want here.
Oh, it's easy.
You just upload PDF here. And you can see all I have is these two, like that cover page that has the XP logo popping out of the front, and then my listing presentation. So you could easily have this, right? I could easily upload this
Whole packet, yeah.
into Cloud CMA. And sorry. And so you upload it here. And then when you're doing your CMA, I'm just going to edit this one. But after you update the listings, and then on this next page, after you customize the report, sorry, it's on this second page, you can start adding stuff, right? There's all this stuff that you can add, like thank you. I guess not the Tom Ferry stuff, but analysis, right? Suggested list price. I could add that if I wanted to, right? So you add what you want, and then at the end, you click template, and then you say save as template, right? So if you save it as a template after you, say for the custom pages, you got to click on this, okay, and add it here, right there, okay, and then you organize it where exactly you want the marketing plan thing to show up. And then if you hit here, I'll put this on the after contact me. I'll hit template, save as template. And then when I hit publish report, so from now on, since I saved it, from now on, it's going to have that new template saved with those custom pages uploaded. So now when I view it, it's got this, my cover letter, contact page, reviews, and then it's got, must be after this. Maybe I don't know where. Anyways, that's how you do it.
Okay, and you customize your cover letter. I noticed it was a template, so it will automatically use the name that you use.
Yep. So Cloud CMA, if you, and it's an option there, right? It's this cover letter option, and if you look at it, it's got a variable here.
Okay.
So when you create when you create it here, it automatically creates that letter over there with the customer's name, whatever you put here. So like it looks like I've typed out this letter with their name and made it all like personable, but I didn't do anything. It was all automated. Make sense?
Yes.
Over here, custom pages. And this is actually where you get your Zillow reviews too. Like those Zillow reviews, it was all done automatically. Client testimonials. Oh no, that was one I was doing automatically. But
I think it might
somewhere
be integrations.
Yeah. Integrations. Yep. So here's my Zillow. Here's my API for Zillow. So you got to get that, copy and paste it over there, and then you can automatically Zillow reviews will be an option for you.
Wow.
Now, Jason is really good at technology.
Yes.
You know, I'm not. And so just to let you guys know, anytime somebody starts talking about technology and kind of walking me through the process, my eyes kind of just gloss over and I don't get it. And so I just want to ask for those of you guys who are on this call, and don't be afraid to admit it because I'm the same type of guy. How many of you guys get this based on what Jason Windom just kind of walked you through? And how many of you guys would enjoy a video where we took it down to kind of a toddler level and really did kind of a step-by-step process? How many of you guys would enjoy something like that?
I think the step by
I will.
Yeah, John would like the toddler issue.
I think for people that are currently using Cloud CMA, that was easy to follow, Jason. Thank you very much. I understood it, and I'm not a techie person. But if you're not familiar with Cloud CMA, then
it's
well,
really
just
overwhelming. I'm like, where do I go? Where do I access it? And
yeah.
How to get there.
Cruel, if you look at the bottom of the Northwest MLS there on Jason's screen, Jason, if you could circle your hand around where it says Cloud CMA.
Yeah, but I just want to make one note real quick, right? Like, yes, Cloud CMA is here, but the MLS also has the CMA options here, right? Which is pretty damn close to this, right? So you can click here, go to pages, you can put the same kind of cover, comparables, you know, and then hit finish. And then if you don't want to do the Cloud CMA route, well, guess what? Like,
you've got a great packet to still work with.
Yeah, you all you would do is take this here, you know, take what we got here and then match that with the CMA generated here, and you got a pretty good pre-listing packet just in those two things. You don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you combine them? Well, let me show you this this CMA real quick. And I'll just put that together real quick here for you, just as an example, because you don't have to go the whole cloud CMA route. I'll download this. Right. And there's some things that you'd want to take out of here because some of it's redundant, right? And you can do that just like I did here, where you go to the pages and then just take some things out, right? Like some of this stuff's redundant. Take that out, take this out, right? And then go to combinedpdf.com and then upload this with that. So I just want to show, you don't need Cloud CMA to have a decent pre-listing packet, because what a lot of people want is the comps, and there's a ton of stuff here too, right? Like statistics, there's a lot of sources of buyers. I mean, there's a ton of great stuff even here that you don't need the whole Cloud CMA thing. And in fact, if you're not a producing agent, I would say stop buying tons of shiny stuff like Cloud CMA because it's a monthly fee, or you're going to spend $500 for the year when you don't need it.
Okay, so we've got to wrap up here, guys. We will make a follow-up video on this. Please do me a favor real quick and unmute your microphones and just give it up for Jason Windom, please.
Thank you,
Thanks, Jason.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. It was really good.
In a
Awesome.
market
You're
and in a
awesome.
climate, guys, in a market and in a climate where most agents are really sticky and stingy with the don't look at my PLP, this is mine, right? We've got a lot of that. And I'm just so happy that with this company and with this group of people, we have so many people who are truly unselfish and really want to share with other people how they're having success and how you can build that for yourself. And so it takes a lot for an agent to get rid of those sticky fingers and just say, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. Let me share it with you. And so I just want to give it up for Jason Windom one more time for not only sharing his pre-listing package with us, but also sharing what he does.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but you said you're also taking the dog for a walk and.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks,
Yep.
Jason.
No problem.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Let's have a good week and let's really focus on implementation. All of these videos are great to come to. They mean absolutely nothing, and your presence means nothing unless you decide to take action. So quickly get a pen, write down when you're competing for expired listings. I'm staring right at Shelly Camacho right now. When you're competing for expired listings, make sure that you include your expired testimonials. Write down right now how many expired listings you think you've sold. And if you don't have those testimonials, put it in your calendar that you're going to go solicit those. Same thing with FSBOs, guys. If you're going to compete with FSBOs and you've sold FSBOs before, get those testimonials, include them in your PLP, and let's make sure, guys, implementation, we focus on it. Let's have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. Love you all.
Bye, guys.
Later, Cooley.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chad and Michelle.
Thank you all.